Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is Paddock Live, and joining me for a change,
yes, nice
on this programme anyway, on this video, is Scotty. How are we doing, brother?
Gutted.
Good.
If I'm honest, after watching Jude Bellingham, although Dortmund got beat, it just brings back the disappointment that United decided to balls up the move from Birmingham all those years ago.
It was almost like a tale of what could have been tonight. Watching, if you did watch any of City, you'll see Haaland, Bellingham scored. Two players that could have been playing for Manchester United. We will actually get into that because there's a story on The Athletic about just how United missed out on Erling Haaland twice, not just once, but twice. We could have got him. Even before he went to Molde, we looked at him. Then when he was at Molde, obviously, when he went to Salzburg, and then we tried to buy him, didn't we, when he went to Dortmund? It just didn't happen. And Bellingham, though, there is a little bit of a rumour, or reports, I should say, in Germany, that Bellingham could still end up at Manchester United. Fingers crossed, because he's a fantastic talent. We'll also be looking at the press conference, Manchester United's press conference, ahead of the game tomorrow against Sheriff in the Europa League. So we'll be talking about the quotes from that. And there's a good old transfer rumour, because we like a transfer rumour, don't we?
Even though we're past the transfer
Even though,
window.
right, the deadline is gone, that doesn't stop Manchester United and transfer rumours, right? We still sign players outside the window, possibly.
We struggle to sign players during the window.
That's the point. Get involved in the comments and let us know what you think of any of these stories. And if you've got any stories as well, give us a nod. Right, should we get into the Arias rumour? This is Santiago Arias. I had this in my news the other day. This is the kid who was at Atletico. He's a Colombian. Now, he's a free agent and he's been linked with Manchester United because he used to play in Holland. And they're the rules, aren't they?
Right,
If you've played in Holland, or you've been to Holland, or you know someone from Holland, you're linked with Manchester United under Erik ten Hag. Now, we were linked with Serginho Dest at right back, weren't we, in the summer?
Yeah.
As a sort of backup or someone to vie with Diogo Dalot for that right-back spot. Now, people looked at this, and there's a report, I think, in the Express saying that we're preparing a contract for Santiago Arias. Was a decent player, right? He's only 30, so he's not like he's done or whatever. Was a good player, regular for Colombia, was at PSV, got a move to Atletico, but then he did his ankle, he broke his fibula and did his ankle ligaments. And he's not been the same player since. He's not played for Colombia in 3 years. He barely played last season. I think he played 12 games for Granada on loan. I don't know, bro. What do you think? Are we that desperate for a right back?
My first question is: Aaron Wan-Bissaka really that bad that we're going for an injury-prone player that's only played 12 games in 2 years? It's nice that I think that Diogo Dalot could do with someone challenging him, but he started really well. But I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka will, if he does need to step up, will have a point to prove. I just think it might be his agent maybe pushing to get a move. It's
a good point. We were looking. I think there was The Athletic. Laurie Whitwell did a piece talking about Manchester United's transfer business in the summer, and he was saying about how Erik ten Hag was willing to let Aaron Wan-Bissaka go. I think there was rumours of him going back to Palace or maybe going to West Ham for a cut price. John Murtagh, who's got a say in the transfers, was reluctant, and Erik ten Hag became convinced because John Murtagh's influence, and also when he sort of did a bit of one-to-one work with Wan-Bissaka, he thought he's not that bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's not like he's completely useless.
Some of the training videos that we've seen in the summer of Wan-Bissaka, bombing forward, which is tended to be his downfall, wasn't it, really? It was impressive in training. But I just think he's got to be better than a Colombian that has not played many games over the last couple of years. Yeah,
let us know what you think about Arias. It's come out of the blue, this one, for me. I'd never even heard of the kid until this week when we were linked with him. And the fact he's a free agent and, okay, he has had injury problems, but if he was that good, you think someone would be in for him. Especially as, I'm guessing he doesn't play, it doesn't cost that much in terms of his wages. But it just seems a little bit like this could be his agent try to get some interest in him. Because, like I say, he's been a free agent for a little while now, and why is no one coming for him? It just seems a little bit weird. Dave Rowbottom says, up the Scotty. Motty Machiavelli the Don says, get Bellingham. Taryn Camplin says, I am actually gutted that Haaland will never play for United. Well, you never know.
We never know, when he's 35. We have form for that, don't we?
Yeah, when he's 35 and he's not scored
in the way of Cavani and Ibrahimovic and Ronaldo Part 2. Yeah.
We'll give him a 750 grand a week contract. TSF 1515 says Bellingham or Rice.
Bellingham all day long. Yeah. I think Rice has got extra valuation because he plays for England. I don't think he's as good anywhere near. I know Bellingham does, but I just think that Rice, during what he's done in the World Cup and Euros and stuff, I think Bellingham's a better player.
Yeah, I agree. Bellingham as well. He's 19. Rice is a little bit older. And
that's what I mean. Given what he's done so far for England, I think that's what gives him a bit more value.
Bellingham steps up, doesn't he, as well? Like takes games by the scruff of the neck and that sort of thing. I mean, Rice is a good player. To be honest with you, if either of them came to Manchester United,
100 mil though they were talking for Rice. Not giving West Ham 100 mil of our money.
No, I mean, that does seem a little bit excessive, doesn't it? I mean, I know it's Manchester United and we do like throwing the cash about. What are you smirking at there, you, Ronaldo Brown?
100 mil to West Ham. You know what they put it towards?
What? Weatherspoons?
Something happening on Monday.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Ronaldo Brown's making jokes off screen that we won't go into. Anyway. Adam McCullough, our good mate Adam McCullough, has been talking to Bet Victor as part of their last fan standing video where he chats to rival fans as well. Here's what he had to say about Chelsea spending the money and whether they've got a plan, and whether United have got a plan actually. Check this out.
And they need to back him properly because... and when
how much more can they back him? They spent 270.
No, I don't mean just spending money. I mean, look how does what the owner did this summer strike you as someone with a plan?
Not really.
To me, it doesn't strike me as someone with a plan. And Graham Potter is someone who recruitment's important. You know, developing players is important, and having a plan is important. These guys do not have that. They don't. They're poor man's Glazers. Trust me. And Todd Bowley running around.
Poor man's Glazers.
Todd Bowley running around like Ed Woodward ain't good for your club, man. Like it's genuinely not. You need.
I think it's
someone
too
to put
soon
a structure
to say
in
that
place.
now, though.
And Graham Potter is someone that relies
soon.
on a structure. I can only work with the evidence that's in front of me, and these guys are lunatics.
But the evidence says that he's invested a load of money, spent a load of money because the team clearly needed that to catch up with those above.
But look, bro.
Now,
1 week he wants
within six games, he sacked the manager because he wants to go with someone with a plan.
Who's he brought with him, Charlie? Who did Potter bring with him?
All of his backroom staff, basically.
And Cucurella.
Yeah, and Cucurella. Shout out to Billy Gilmore. He's lost at sea.
Billy in 2 years. 2 years, 40 mil.
So that was Adam McCullough chatting as part of the Last Fan Standing video with Bet Victor. Go and get involved in their chat as well. There's a link in the description. Go and get involved. Tell them that Stretford Paddock sent you. And let us know what you think about their comments there, Macca's comments, and the Graham Potter to Chelsea move. And when there is a plan there, I mean, Chelsea are spending a lot of money, aren't they? Or they've spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
270 million, I think it was, or whatever it is. United, spent something similar this summer. Now you've got Graham Potter coming in, who's not made any of these signings, has he? These were the
apparently they were Thomas
Tuchel signings.
Yeah, apparently they were.
Because apparently they didn't said Burley want Ronaldo, and Tuchel was like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So that's why that didn't happen. What do you think, just quickly on that, what do you think of Potter to Chelsea? Does that worry you?
I think
from a United point of view.
I don't know from a United point of view, because I think it might take him a while to get his feet under the desk at Chelsea, but I rate him, man. You've only got to see the progression that he's made from Brighton, and a lot of the sort of sound bites that I've seen from his press conference afterwards is encouraging for Chelsea fans. I mean, I think it felt like a knee-jerk reaction, but it's definitely a clash of the heads of Tuchel and Bowley as to why he got sacked. Listen, he did, wipe the floor with United earlier on this year, didn't he? This season, turned well back into a beast again. One of your favourites.
Yeah. Not hard to turn Danny Welbeck into a beast. That's what he is. One of the greatest.
But I quite like Potter's journey though, didn't he? He went he quit his wife's business to go coaching in Mold. Yeah, he didn't have much experience at the age of 30,
right?
And then he's basically dragged himself up through there. So I'm not worried from a United point of view. I'm worried about what the Chelsea's owners want to do with the Premier League though.
Yeah, this was the sort of the other day when it was like an all-star game or something.
The all-star. It's
the
not the North versus South.
That's going to cause so much drama. I mean, it'd be all right if it was, say, it was a proper friendly where you just send whoever. United sent, I don't know, Ronaldo because he's the biggest star.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because he's performing as your best player. And then, you sent like whoever. It wasn't like you took it very seriously. It was like a sort of charity game, which was the idea it'd make money for the rest of the pyramid.
It works in the States though, because I think they have 4 months off, the NBA and stuff like that.
I think Jurgen Klopp, and I'm loath to agree with anything Jurgen Klopp says, but he said get him to contact me when he finds a date. Yeah. In other words, there's no, when are you going to fit this in? It does seem highly unlikely. It does seem a little bit off key some of the things that Burley's doing. Did you see he had that report that he had a chat with Tuchel and he came up with his plan of 4-4-3?
Well, oh, he was
Yeah,
dictating.
yeah, and Tuchel's like, you've got too many players. What? You can have 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. You can't have 4-4-3. Although this has been denied, I think, by Todd Burley's people, but it was a report, I think, in The Athletic, maybe. Anyway, don't forget to go and check out Last Man Standing. Erik ten Hag has been talking to the press ahead of the Sheriff game tomorrow in the Europa League, United over in Moldova. A game that it's not must win, is it? Because that's a bit extreme to say it's must win. But it's one of those where, United have obviously got off to a bit of a stinker with the loss to Real Sociedad, so you do want to put things right. And Erik ten Hag, he says, as you can see from the graphic, he is wary of the opponents. He says they beat Real Madrid and Shakhtar. They are capable. We have to make it our game, but we are conscious of that fact. So you do have to show him a bit of respect. What do you make of this tomorrow? Do you think this is, is he over-egging it a little bit? Should they be able to just steamroll this team?
Well, you look at the teams that have beat. I mean, we've struggled at Shakhtar in the past, and Real Madrid, Champions League winners. So it won't be a walkover just because they're Moldovan champions. And I think sometimes when teams from that part of the world, we do tend to give them a little bit of disrespect. But I think after losing the first Europa League game, that we do need to win. And when we're not playing Leeds on Sunday, we've no excuse for not playing a full strength team.
No, I completely agree with that. Ten Hag's been speaking about the players that aren't available. Marcus Rashford, he said he's got a muscle injury that he picked up against Arsenal. He's also done an apology as well, Erik ten Hag. And I read this, I saw Ten Hag Ronaldo apology. I thought, oh, crikey, what's going on here? But he's just basically saying sorry to the Moldovan fans because he was asked about whether Ronaldo's going to be there.
Because they want to see
They
Ronaldo.
want to see Cristiano Ronaldo. I felt sorry because when we was on pre-season, we was in Thailand and we were chatting, and just everywhere really, Thailand, Australia, and a lot of the fans there were saying that loads of people have bought tickets just to see Ronaldo, even non-United fans. In Australia especially, like loads of non-United fans had bought tickets because they were like, we want to see Cristiano Ronaldo in the flesh, and then obviously, he didn't make the trip, so either they even gave the tickets away or sold them or just whatever.
Has there ever been a player that played for another club that you really wanted to see in the flesh play? Like whether you managed to see them or not. Probably the other Ronaldo for me. I was at that game when he scored the hat trick.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. He got a standing ovation, didn't he?
Yeah, rightly so.
Yeah. None springs to mind.
Did you see Maradona?
Yeah, I did. I saw him at the UNICEF game.
Oh, there you go. That's
that's
You've seen the greatest player of all time.
I've seen George Best as well at a charity match once.
Playing?
At Old Trafford for Matt Busby's testimonial in '91.
You win.
He only played about 10 minutes, then he was knackered.
10 minutes of George Best, mate.
Whatever. But yeah, it's one off the bucket list. No, I mean, Maradona was great. I remember at the UNICEF game, he was getting booed because there's a load of little Englanders who still hold it against him, the fact that he beat Peter Shilton to that punch. And I remember they were booing him and our kid was going mad at him. Fucking booing Maradona for you dickheads. But it was good to see him. No, I mean, Messi was one way, like, I want to see Messi, but we saw him years ago, didn't we? We've seen him a few times now, and it's like, there's no one, I think...
Not nowadays, anyway.
No, not at the minute anyway, but I'm sure there'll be someone. Hopefully it won't be Erling Haaland for Manchester City. Just quickly on the press conference as well, David De Gea was the player that was put up for interview, because on the Europa League you have a player and you have the manager. David De Gea was talking about Dean Henderson, because obviously Dean Henderson came out of all this stuff, didn't he, about his time at United. We'll say his time at United, he's still a United player, but he was very sort of disparaging about United. David De Gea was asked about it and he just said, well, I'm just here to do my job, try to do better every day, so I don't think it's the time to talk about what happened last season. I think we should focus on the season now. He carries himself well, David De Gea, I feel. I know in terms of his interviews and stuff, and I know that's not the be-all and end-all, but he does seem to sort of be quite honest, and he knows what to say. I kind of respected him post-match against Brentford because he had a stinker and he came out and spoke about it. And, a lot of players would have thought, I'm not doing post-match interviews after that.
No.
He came out and he held his hands up and said, I cost us that game.
He wears it, doesn't he? When United would defeat, he's not too scared to face the cameras and say it's his fault. But what does he gain from, getting into this beef with Henderson or making any comments about it? There's nothing for De Gea to gain from it.
No, there isn't, and I'm glad he's sort of avoided it, because then it becomes, you've hit the nail on the head, it just becomes a bit of a circus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like a soap opera.
It's pointless.
Like, one goalkeeper's having a dig and the other one joins in, and I get why he's asked because it's a bit of intrigue and it's like, oh,
it's a journalist trying to make a story when there isn't one.
And he's done the right thing there. He's just, let's not get involved in any of that nonsense. If Dean Henderson wants to go on chatting about how much he hates the club that paid most of his wages and that sort of stuff. Nick Anand, big shout out to Nick. He's a member of the Academy for 27 months, and he's our editor extraordinaire over on the website. If you go and check out the blog, the Stretford Paddock News. He says, Scotty and Motty doing the Lord's work. Well said. Shall we talk about how we missed out on Erling Haaland?
If we have to.
Right.
If you're going to force me on live on YouTube to do so, yeah. Bitterly disappointing.
Are you all right over
Ronaldo
there?
Brown's,
Playing
you know.
Music Connect. Don't let us interrupt your viewing by making this video. Apologies there. We'll try and keep the noise down for you. Ronnie's over there, by the way, in case you hear a bit of noise in the background. There's a story by Daniel Taylor. Daniel Taylor's a friend of the channel, isn't he, Ronnie? Remember when we had him on?
Oh yeah.
Daniel Taylor, yeah.
I followed him on Twitter.
You followed him on Twitter eventually. He said that he's done a piece in Athletic saying it probably won't make Manchester United supporters feel any better to know that to learn that the Norwegian cyborg, otherwise known as Erling Haaland, could have been their player long before he joined the team from the other side of a divided football city. It goes on to say that when he was at Molde, the chief scout, John Vick, had him there and been training with him. Spoke to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's obviously the manager there at Molde, and Ole was on about getting in touch with United, and this is a player that is going to end up going somewhere bigger than Molde, and United should be in for him. And it says here that Ole had agreed everything, that it was all going to happen, and then it didn't. And the rest is almost history. Well, the rest is history, really, isn't it? It's so annoying and frustrating. It says here. This was even before Erling had started to really play for Molde properly. Ollie put the phone call in, so the name was put in. Then or how whether United followed it up, I don't know. Well, obviously they didn't, because he didn't end up at Manchester United. We all saw him for him a bit later on as well, weren't we, when he went to Dortmund?
Yeah.
He just seems like a player we've consistently missed out on. And
I don't think we had a chance to get him when he was at Dortmund, if I'm honest.
No, at Dortmund, no. But when he went from Salzburg, there was was talk of him.
Who was manager when he was at? Who was United manager when he was at Molde then? Who'd have been overseeing that?
Was it Jose, maybe? Maybe now.
Between Van Gaal and Jose.
Jose, yeah. In fact, let's try and work this out. I don't even know if it got to the manager, because it might have just been a conversation there. I think he said he spoke to Nicky Butt, Ollie, so judging from this article. So yeah, he was at Molde in 2017, so that would have been Jose, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
This is the thing, I don't know, so I don't want to say it's definitely Jose, but it kind of would make sense that Jose would look at a kid who's pretty unproven and gone, I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Because Jose's MO is ready-made players, isn't it?
I can't see Jose Mourinho picking up the phone from Ole Solskjaer saying, yeah, cheers, nice one, mate, we'll definitely sign. Doesn't...
You've got, what, a 17-year-old who's banging him in Norway? Yeah, nice one. That'll help me win the league.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He wants players that come straight in, doesn't he, Jose? And I get it, because when you have Jose Mourinho, he's here for 2-3 seasons, so he doesn't want players.
He's not building players. No. Look at the players that let go at Chelsea for evidence of that, right? With the Salahs and.
You know what, right? You're right, and people look at that and go, "Oh, he let De Bruyne go and he let Mo Salah go," but in his defence, the season he let them go, he won the league, and his job was like short term at Chelsea. You're not gonna he could have waited 3 or 4 seasons for them to become the players they were. Then fair enough, but that was never going to happen. So I kind of understand it. Do you know what I mean? It was funny though. I saw an interview. I think it was with Kevin De Bruyne, and he said that Jose Mourinho called him into his office and started listing all the players in Chelsea's squad who'd scored more goals than him and got more assists. And he was like, "I've played 12 minutes this season." What are you on about? He's like, you know what I mean? He's just like, oh, look at you. Eden Hazard's got 10 goals this season. You've got none. And he's like, I've not played any games. And he's like, I said, I didn't know what he was on about. It's like Jose, you know what I mean? He's not one of them.
Law unto himself.
He is a law unto himself. Very frustrating. And it's one that, is going to get more frustrating by the game, the way that Erling Haaland is absolutely.
Do you think he's going to work at City then,
Erling Haaland?
Yeah.
I don't know, he might do all right, might he?
I'll go live on YouTube now and say that we struggle when it comes against a decent centre-back pairing.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Short King Martinez and Rolls-Royce Varane.
I'll tell you what, we'll find out on the 2nd of October whether Scott is right. I hope he is. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. I mean, he's going to score loads of goals, and the question is he going to get them over the line in the Champions League? Possibly. I mean, they're almost there anyway,
holidays,
aren't they?
man.
They're almost. I know it's going to be horrible, line it. You know what I mean? Them lot winning the Champions League. The only thing we got over them in a minute. Yeah, we'll wait and see, but it's just a little bit of a frustrating one. Don't forget to hit that like button as well, by the way. You might not like the fact that we missed out on Erling Haaland, but you can like the video. Just getting some of the comments. James Burns says, Ronaldo, please do a conspiracy podcast. Do you hear that?
It's too niche.
Too niche, he says. Whatever that means. Joel Sapster says, Haaland will go to Real Madrid in a couple of years. He's got a buyout clause, Erling Haaland, hasn't he, at City of 120 million, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Which isn't that bad or that high for a player of his calibre, because he could probably
You could see that move. I don't think he's staying at City for the rest of his career.
No, but if he spends a couple of seasons there, wins them a Champions League and a load of league titles, I think they'll be happy, and he'll go as a bit of a hero. Make sure you are hitting subscribe as well. There's a link in the chat to the subscribe. We want to get to 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and with your support, we can do it. Should we talk about Jude Bellingham?
Yes.
This is a story that's come out of Sky Deutschland. This is from our mate Florian Plettenberg, who's been on the channel a few times. And he says Man United have a very good chance of signing Bellingham next summer. There is a caveat, though. He says also Liverpool do as well. He says, according to Sport, I think this was Sky Deutschland via Sportsmolo, saying that United and Liverpool are both looking at him, both in for him, and he thinks there's a good chance of him coming to one of us. I mean,
I think if it goes down to a bidding war, then I think United will spend more money than Liverpool.
Do you reckon?
I think so, yeah. And again, with the Haaland thing, Bellingham's got the history as United could have had him earlier. 2020, wasn't it, when United had an
when
agreement?
He was 16,
had an agreement with Birmingham City.
Apparently, according to that one, I remember covering that in the news outside Old Trafford, and United, to be fair, did pull out all the stops to try and get him if the reports were true. I think there was rumours doing the rounds that he met Fergie and everything. They took him to Carrington, his dad. I think.
So it was more his decision then.
Yeah,
it wasn't United pulled out.
No, I don't think this is a case of United, messing this one up. If again, this is just reports and stories that I think Fergie met him. There was even talk of Eric meeting. I don't know if that's true. I mean, Camden now, not Ten Hag, obviously. Told him around Carrington, tried to woo him. Look, this is the facilities and everything. But I think his dad, who's sort of like looking after him, which you can understand because he's only 60 at the time, felt that Dortmund or the player and his dad would be the best move for him at that time.
Yeah.
Because I think, with all due respect, I think the idea was you come to United and in a few years you'll be in the first team. You go to Dortmund, he's straight in the first team more or less.
Dortmund have got a good track record.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sancho's a great example.
Well, they do it all the time, don't they?
as well.
Haaland, Sancho. We've had a few players off him, Kagawa, Mkhitaryan.
No good ones, yeah. Sancho's still a work in progress. Kagawa and Mkhitaryan didn't work.
No, Kagawa, he had a good chant that all we need is Shinji Kagawa, that one. Shinji Kagawa even. And also, he had that hat-trick against Norwich or whatever it was, wasn't it? And that was it.
Yeah.
Mkhitaryan had that good spell, didn't he, towards the Europa League final. But no, it'd be a stretch to say they worked out. But they've had a lot of players, Dortmund. That's what they do, innit? They get young players in, they give them a few seasons, and then they move them on. And I think next summer, Jude Bellingham will go. I think they'll let him go, and they'll be happy to do that. Not happy, but one thing with Dortmund is they don't tend to keep players too long once players want to leave.
No,
because
but
it sends that message out to other players like, don't come here because they'll just keep you past you, when you want to leave. I think Sancho was a case of we just weren't paying the money.
They're very firm though, aren't they? They're quite when they've got a price that they want for a player, they won't really negotiate on it, as we found out with Sancho. Do you think us signing Bellingham is dependent on how this season goes? If we don't get Champions League football this year, would that have an impact on it?
I think you can still get him without it. I still think that it'll be difficult, and it makes it more difficult, especially if Liverpool have got Champions League and we haven't. But it is doable. I mean, you've got to remember, the thing is, right, there's so many different caveats and sort of, ways to look at it. But, one thing is money. Some players and, some clubs will just be like, what, whoever gives us the most money can have him. If you pay him a massive wage, that might woo him a little bit. United are still the biggest club in England. He's not going to go to Liverpool and play in front of 76,000 fans every week. Now, you might not care about that, or you might do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, there's different sides to it. I think to give yourself the strongest chance. You've got to get Champions League football. And a player like Jude Bellingham belongs in the Champions League, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I just,
Evident tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, evident tonight. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but you never know. The shoe could be on your foot. Liverpool might not have Champions League football.
We only hope.
Can you imagine? That would be funny. If this was like next summer, and United have got, say, I don't know, 150 million as your transfer budget, yeah.
Well, how much
what are you spending on him?
How much were you going to spend on Frankie de Jong? I'd rather Bellingham than Frankie de Jong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
So what we were touting for that? 70 mil for Frankie.
70 mil. Yeah. I think
I'd bang 100 mil on Bellingham, and then we need a new striker. Unless we're trying to really milk Ronaldo for another season. Please, God.
Well, you never know because, I mean, I'm not... Again, there might be a chance McNeil this season. If he's used a few times next season, you can maybe use him a little bit. Probably not all
We need
the
a
time.
name. We need a name up front, I think.
Do you reckon? What about Marko Arnautovic? I've heard he's going.
Is this show finished now?
Hey, do you know what I saw the other day? Someone did an article saying how Eric Ten Hag's been left red-faced by Serie A striker, and I thought, what's going on? How's Eric Ten Hag, who manages a club in the Premier League, been left red-faced by a striker in Italy? And it was because Marko Arnautovic has scored 6 goals in 6 games. The sort of narrative was, oh look, you missed out on him. Well, did you see the reasons why we didn't get him?
Yeah.
I don't think Eric Ten Hag's going to be losing too much sleep on the fact we didn't. Thank you, producer Ethan. Top scorer in Serie A. Yeah, I know he's the top scorer in Serie A though. I think one of the big reasons we didn't get him was because of his somewhat questionable history, shall we say?
Yes.
It wasn't just his ability.
I think the thing that we didn't get him really shows that fans' protests do hold some power. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of emails going into Old Trafford saying that we don't want anyone with his views at the club.
Just on that, quite a lot of people in the chat and the comments mentioning about Glazers out, obviously. We always want to see that. Steve H says, I'd rather we just sell up full stop. We'll take a bottom half finish to see it happen. Come on, Sir Jim. Yeah, Maka had this in his news this morning, I think. And these are the rumours doing the rounds again that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is interested in Manchester United. And there was this sort of talk that there might be a little bit of movement that he's already got a plan in place, not just to buy the club, but who's going to come and help him run it. Who's the kid he's got who was interested? Ethan, is it Louis Campos or whatever?
Yeah, Campos.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was these sort of rumours doing the rounds that there could be something happening there. I mean, listen, is Jim Ratcliffe the answer to all our problems? I don't know, is the honest answer. He certainly seems like a better option than the Glazers. He certainly seems like someone who at least gives a toss about Manchester United and football and at least understands what football is about rather than the Glazers who just don't care as long as they're getting them dividends and also didn't have any money to buy the club. And we know Jim Ratcliffe is a very, very rich man. He's
not come out and said he's not interested though.
No, and it was interesting, wasn't it? Because he did that interview last season, or in the summer, sorry.
With the Chelsea, when he signed Chelsea, said, I'm not buying Manchester United because they're not for sale. So it's a matter of if and when with the Glazers.
Is he from Oldham or something?
Yeah.
That's mad, that, isn't it?
Yeah, because I put Manchester United owned by a Mancunian, and people say, he's from Oldham. Well, that's
is Oldham not Manchester?
It's a debate, isn't it?
Is it a debate? Do you want to have it now, or should we have it another time?
No. I don't think people care about the geography of Greater Manchester.
Well, I do.
They can do.
We had this when we were with Kieran Trippier, right? I said the same thing as you because I went, he's a Manc as well. He's from Bury.
Bury's not Manchester.
But I just think Greater Manchester counts.
No, because the people of Bury and Oldham really they like their own identity, and they speak a hell of a lot different. They do.
Yeah.
How is Bury or Bury?
Bury.
But I went to a cracking pub in Bury last week.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was it called?
It was like Shameless.
Was it?
Oh, mate, it was blinding. The Pig and something. Whistle.
The Pig and Whistle in Bury. Yeah, if you are in Bury, if you're watching and you need somewhere to go and have a beer, check out the Pig and Whistle. Scotty went there the other week, said it's mint. It's just like Shameless. There you go. We're selling that one. We're selling that one. If you've got money to spend, you don't want to spend it in the Pig and Whistle. You can always spend it on Stretford Paddock merchandise. We have got some merchandise for sale. There's a link in the chat. There you go. Look at that.
Ronaldo Brown there.
Hey, Ronaldo Brown there, looking absolutely over the moon. Our model extraordinaire.
What? You should get him to come on and walk with it, like. He's having none of it.
He's busy over there watching whatever he's watching. So check out the Paddock merch at paddockmerch.com. If you buy 2 items or more, you get 20% off. If you are a member as well, you get 20% off. Don't forget, in the members section, we've got some extra content there for members, including a video with our very own Ethan James, who's a Newcastle fan, but we still, we let him in the building. He was telling us all about Martin Dubravka and why he's the best goalkeeper Newcastle have ever had. and it's actually a travesty that they've let him go. So you can check that out. Scotty, where can people find you?
On Twitter at @arkid, ARGH Kid. Speaking of Newcastle keepers, Karius.
It's great to see Loris.
Best goalkeeper to not play
One of
for
my
Manchester
favourite,
United.
one of my favourite.
Best footballing memories.
Hey, I just hope that he gets treated better by the Newcastle fans than he did at his old club. That's all I'm going to say about that. Right. This has been Paddock. What is it? Paddock Live. There you go. Yeah, got there in the end. Paddock Live. I almost forgot. I almost thought it was Scotty Motty. Scotty Motty's on Monday. You can check that out 7 o'clock on Monday. But for now, this has been Paddock Live with Scotty. Thanks for coming on, brother.
No worries.
Always a pleasure.
Good stuff.
Don't worry about City and winning Champions League games. No one cares about that. The Europa League's where it's at.
Grassroots, man.
Grassroots and Europa League. And we're in the big games tomorrow against Moldova's finest Sheriff, yeah? And we're going to be here for it, the watch along. You're going to have me. You're on that as well, aren't you? You're here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Me, Scotty, and Adam McCullough. So make sure you're checking it out. We'll be on from about 4 o'clock onwards. So yeah, everyone, thanks for watching.